Recording in progress. I am
Hi,
here. Am I saying it correct? Raquel or Rachel?
Rachel
Rachel Inabinett
Inabinett.
in Abbott. Oh, okay. I'm just totally butchering it then. So Rachel in Abbott. Okay. So we are talking today because I want people to know your story and how you came to go, you know what? I want to do a bodybuilding show. Let's just do that.
Yes.
How do you wake up one morning and say you're going to do that?
Well, I will say this. I didn't wake up one morning and say, "Oh, I'm going to do this." It definitely did not happen that way. It took years. Okay. When I was in my 20s, matter of fact, I was probably maybe before I even turned 20. I was like, "Oh, I want to compete."
Oh,
And
wow.
um so that was years ago. And then as I got into my 20s, then I was like, yeah, I really want to do figure. I really want to do figure. And I never worked towards it ever. I just said I wanted to do it and I just let it go. And so fast forward to the year 2021, and I'm like, you know what? I need to really get in shape. I need to lose weight. And I said, I'm going to start this time because I will say this. I'd always would go to the gym with the trainer and work out and do things of that nature. I just wasn't working towards getting on stage. And I never
Oh,
mentioned
okay.
to the trainers that I have that I want to compete. I was like, oh, that would be so nice, but I'm just too embarrassed for that. And so when I finally decided, okay, girl, because, after years of, I had my 2 children and just years of just eating whatever and gaining weight, I was like, okay, it's time to get in shape. You got to lose weight. So that was really the beginning of my journey to just lose weight. And so I relocated to Richmond, Virginia in October. And I said, before I even got there, I said, okay, I'm going to find a trainer and I'm just going to go ahead and try to lose weight. And so that's pretty much what I did, and then I did see where OCB was having their transformation challenge. So I was like, okay, I'll join that. I'll do that. And then once I did that, I was like, that was the most inspirational thing ever when it comes to weight loss. And so I was listening to all the stories, and some of the people had endured a whole lot.
Yes.
Some people had illnesses, that they were trying to outbeat, and then some people had diseases, and it was like, okay, I have none of those things, but I have to just be inspired by someone who's gone through so much, and then
Right.
they're bouncing. Like, how could I just not want to do something? And so that kind of inspired me to go to the next level. And then I realized, like, oh, okay, well, I can't do figure, honey. I'm in no shape for figure. So, because when I thought about it, there was no such thing as wellness. So I just said, I'm like, okay, so here I am. When I started this, I was like 54 years old. And I'm like, well, by the time I did the transformation, I was 55. So I was like, well, I'm already half dead. I'm going to still just
Stop
go
it.
ahead.
Stop it.
There. And I just start with wellness. That was something new. So I just decided to just jump in there. And my motto was, for me, just not to quit on myself. But It was also, I knew that I just couldn't wait for perfection, because it's like I'm already way older than I really need to be, because I should have done this when I said I wanted to do it.
No, you did it in a
did.
time that was meant for you. It's okay.
Yeah, and so I was like, okay, I'm not gonna wait for perfection. I'm just gonna jump in there and see where is going to go, but I always knew I just wanted to have fun with it. And so I just jumped in there. And I did my first show in September of 2022.
Okay.
Yeah. So
and you got the bug. Yeah. You're like, okay, I could do this.
And it was a lot of fun. And I pretty much just knew, I was like, okay, this is the first one.
Right.
It'll get my nerves out of the way. Because let me tell you something. I say this, and a lot of people say it, like, I don't want to get on stage in a bikini, you know. And I was like, okay, so for this first show, that'll get my nerves out the way and all of that. And so what was really interesting, and this is something that I tell people now, so I can't get on stage in a bikini. It's like, girl, the bikini is the cover up because you got to tan naked. So get over it. And so
they don't even know the inside scoop, right? You're standing around drying for a good 20, 30 minutes, butt naked.
Be the reason you won't do this.
Oh, wow. So how did it come to be that you and your son are doing the show?
Well, actually, now my son that was his first show. And he was going to participate in a show that was being sponsored on his military installation. He's he's the first lieutenant in the Army.
Oh,
and
congrats.
So he was he was going to do that show in August. And they canceled the show. I guess they just didn't have enough people to participate. And I think it was mainly for military members and family members, and not just the general public. But so he was working towards that, and then they canceled it, and he was just anxious to do another show. And I was like, well, I said, Blair, you don't even have a coach. You're just doing this. I said, why don't you get with the coach and then work towards the December show? Because OCB has a show in December.
Yes.
And then you'll be better prepared for that one. And he was like, no, but I was working towards this and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, it's okay. It's okay. Just do the one in September. Well, not September, but December.
Right.
But he was just so antsy. And I was like, okay, well, doggone it. We'll do the one in September. And so we did that one. And it all worked out. We had fun. We really did. And because he did that show with me, he said I had to do a race with him. So I'll do that next year, I guess.
What race does he have you doing?
Well, he do all kinds of races, but I told him I would only do a 5K. That's all I can. I can't do the 10K. I can't do 13. I can't do a marathon. None of that. We're gonna start with
5K is awesome.
It is. I'll start there.
Oh, wow. I'm telling you, we were so proud. It's like, oh my gosh, a mom and her son. That is like the coolest. Like, you guys are the epitome of like why we do this and why we want to do this. Because it's showing, folks when they're young, folks when they've, seasoned a little bit, that they can still, be going after better health. And you can do it together, like as a family, which is cool. So how was that you both dieting at the same time?
Well, you know what? It was definitely, I will say this, because for that September show, that probably should have been a show that I wasn't even a part of. Because I literally had some medical issues.
Oh, wow.
That, that were into play. But, because Blair was there, I was like, oh, well, it is what it is. And so, I had to switch up so many things to just try to even be there,
Right.
Which I'm glad I did.
And so are we.
Yeah, because I literally had a blast, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be for me.
Gosh.
For me, because because of my medical issues, and I was able to get through the show, and I was thankful for that, but I just had some internal issues, medical issues, that was just causing me to be it caused me to be a little bloated per se, but Yeah, so we're still working on those I'm working with my doctors and my coach to try to address those things. And so I was like, okay, it is what it is. But it was fun. But with Blair, I was more so on him, because he goes to the field a lot. And I'm like, Blair, you got to make sure you're prepping your food and taking it with you.
Right.
And he did a lot of just buying stuff instead of cooking. And so he was like, I don't have time to cook. I'm like, yes, you do. You have time to cook when you get home. But he has to drive like an hour or so to get to work and back home. And I guess he's just exhausted. But, I was always like, Blair, you've got to take the time to actually prep your own food. Because that's what's going to really help you.
Really? Yes.
So just, 100%. Stuff that you think is healthy, because it's really not. Just do your own thing.
Yeah. So it's very hard to, especially when you're training, to people don't understand, they're like, oh, this is low sodium. It's like, no, I need no sodium.
Exactly.
There's a difference. Exactly. Or that's one that everybody picks on. I know sodium is one of the ones. I know some people are very happy with their sodium, but I know for me, definitely, that's always something that was an issue. But yeah, I get it. I understand. And I know you mentioned your trainer a couple of times. Do you want to shout out and say your trainer's name?
Yes. Coach Tika. Awesome. She's awesome. Matter of fact, she was she is the promoter for the transformation show. So beautiful. Yeah, she's really awesome. She's the true inspiration. And one of the things that, she said to me was that, my journey is just not for me. It's
I'm glad she said that.
Yeah, she was like, this is really bigger than you.
Wow.
And so when you hear that and you know that, oh wow, that's actually true, because I have people, family and friends who are always, I'm so proud of you. You did. I want you to help me. I'm like, girl, I tried to get it together myself.
But I love that. That's what I'm saying. It's that connection. So people understand, yes, I could do this too. Or, like you said, even your friends, they're like, wait a minute, I could talk to her about some stuff. Like, yes, you can. Exactly. So it is a journey that's bigger than me, and one of the things that when I talk to people about what I'm doing, it's like, yeah, they want to do it, but they don't want to do what comes. They don't want to do it 100%. And it's like, okay, that's fine. So then you really don't want to do what I want to do. Maybe you just want to get fit, or maybe you just want to, because competing is not for everybody, True. And so it's like, just start and see where you go from there. Because one of the things that I know for sure, and I think people who do this know, that once you start, it's like you just want to get better, and you see that you're improving and you can lift more than you've ever lifted before. It's like motivation to keep you going. And so it's just like, just start, and if you don't like it, you'll definitely quit. But just start. Well, I'm so glad that you did it, in spite of the medical things that you were going through, and in spite of everything, you still showed up and showed out, I might say.
Yes, I had fun. I'm glad I did it.
You guys are so inspirational. Seriously, so inspirational. It made us feel good too. Just like to be a part of your journey. Like, this is amazing. Yeah. So we were just as excited as you were.
Yes, awesome. And and I will say this too, because just having Blair there made it that much better. Because I was just so excited for him. This was his first show, and believe it or not, I was literally trying to talk him out of doing this show, and I was like, Blair, do the December show, because you can work towards it. that'll be your debut, the whole 9 yards. And he just wasn't having it. So it all worked out. And I'm glad we did that show. We had family and friends there who live in the area. So it was magical. And in every way, it was magical.
Oh, that's amazing. So my question is to you, I guess, is for other folks. Like you said, your coach already said, this is not just about you. So what's some words that you want to give to other folks that might be thinking maybe it's something they might want to do, or just any words that you want to share with folks?
You know what? I always say, go for it. Don't take yourself out the running, because a lot of people do that right off the bat. They just assume that I don't think this is for me, so I'm not going to do it. And they don't. And it's like, go out there, go for it, jump in there. Because worst case scenario is you're going to be in better shape than you were when you started. Right. And if you decide that, okay, I don't want to compete, then don't compete. But just get to a place where you can exercise every day, even if that's just walking the block, just do something that's going to get your body moving. Because believe it or not, lots of times we have conditions that can be fixed just by changing your diet. Right. And exercising. So it's like, just make those changes and go from there, because I know a lot of times people think, well, I don't want to give up my favorite food. I don't want to do this or do that. And it's like, okay, fine. Then wait till you get to that point. Then decide if you don't want to give up your favorite food. But for now, just start. And that's pretty much what I did, because I just said, I got to get in shape. I got to lose weight. And so I started. And I said, the one thing that I said to myself is, no matter how long it takes, I'm not going to quit on myself. And Beautiful. I haven't done that yet.
So now that you've gotten a bug, are you planning on?
But you know what? I will say this, because initially I was like, just don't quit. And because when I started, see, here's the thing. You don't really see your result right away. And so it's like, you literally have to see for me, I had to see pictures of me side by side to really see that, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Because I started in October. Okay. And I think it was April when I saw the two pictures side by side. And that's when I became extremely proud of the work that I was actually doing. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at me. But you're looking at the scale thinking, okay, I lost 4 ounces when I should have lost a whole pound and a half or something. And it's like, it's progress. Keep going. So I would encourage anybody to just start where you are with changing your diet and clean, because that's what the key is, just to eat clean and move forward. You can still enjoy the stuff that you like occasionally, but it's like, hey, if you wanna just feel better in general, just change the diet, definitely, and go for it.
And did you find that you were eating a lot more food than you thought you would be on the diet?
Well, I will say I realized that I was eating less food.
Oh, okay.
I immediately picked up on that. I was like, okay, because I was eating clean and I did not, there were times, because when I first started, it was like, well, if I'm not hungry, I'm not going to eat. I'm going to plan for, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and 2 snacks. But if I'm not hungry, I'm not going to eat it, and then I realized that, okay, I'm actually cutting back on food because I did not necessarily need the 2 snacks, Okay. And I would always, and let me tell you, for me, because I'm so, I would always prep my lunch to take to work with me.
Oh, okay.
I always did that because I never like just leaving and being out in traffic to get food and come back. So I would always take my lunch. And so my body would tell me what time it is based on the fact that I was in a pattern of the way I was eating. Because
Gotcha.
I ate breakfast at 8 o'clock. I had my snack at 10 o'clock. I had lunch at 12 o'clock. And then I would have an afternoon snack like at 3:30 to hold me until I got home till I can eat dinner. Okay. And so that's just kind of how I was for years. And then once I, switched things up and I started eating cleaner, that's when I realized I don't really need snacks anymore, because I'm eating food that's holding me to my next eating period. And so It kind of worked out initially. Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, it worked out. So what's next for you? When will we see you grace the stage again?
Well, see now, look, I got a whole new mindset now. So, with my coaching, I will be, putting together my plan for next year.
Okay.
And then we'll just see where we go,
Okay.
Because I think it's just going to be a lot of changes for me. Because my mind has changed a little bit. Like I've always looked at this as, fun and, I'm having a really good time and I'm enjoying it. But I think that I want to get past that. It's time for me to go to the next level.
Oh, excuse us. Okay.
It can still be fun.
All right.
But I need to just work a little harder, build up some strength, and just, go all in. So, yeah, my mind has changed a little bit. It's like, girl, you can do a lot more. You can do so much better. So just, go to the next level. Because I will tell you this, especially with me, because now in March, I'm going to be 57 years old. And
Congrats.
So, thank you. And so, I was focused a lot on the fact that there's nobody I like the 55 plus category, and they just don't have those at shows. And so I'm like, that's where I was having all the fun, 55 plus. But It's like, okay, you got to really compete with 35 plus, 40 plus, and just all ages. And somebody's 16, it's like open. There you go. So it's like, okay, girl, it's time to just, go to the next level.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to the next level.
All right. Well, I can't wait to see what your next level is. I think that what you did so far is amazing. And I love that you took a little time to talk with me today, just so we could share what's going on, with you. And we want to do it again. We want to follow along with you and see what I think when people, like I said, when they connect with you and they understand that, that person is not so far removed from them, then they're like, hey, I could do this too. Like, yes, you could.
Yes, exactly.
You can do it, which is amazing. So I got to find time to get Mr. Blair to sit down and talk with me too.
Okay. Because look, he's
busy.
Real busy now. But I will say this, because of the holidays, things are going to change for him a little bit. So they'll go into block leave. Matter of fact, he messed up our plans for December for Christmas, because there was something scheduled for December. He couldn't take leave when we wanted to take leave. So it's like, oh, Blair, you just ruined everything. And he was like, well, y'all can go without me. It's like, no, we're not going without you.
It's not the same.
Yeah. We'll just come and visit with you, I guess. But yeah.
Oh, that's her baby. That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't have any more questions. Is there anything else you wanted to share with me? I know you said you're gonna set yourself. I can understand what you're saying. Like you were like, okay, I'm having fun, and now you've got to the level of like, okay, listen, I think I could tweak a few things and really
Yeah.
maximize. I
Yes,
get
for
it.
sure. And that's it. That's it. It's like now it's time to really say, because here are things that I know for sure. Like I've learned so much
Yeah.
that when you're trying to get fit and trying to lose weight as opposed to competing, I mean, it's a totally different world,
Yes.
and so I'm just learning so much, and just I will say what was really key for me was that understanding that there's a difference between weight loss and fat loss. Yeah, and I'm like, wow, that's so amazing. So I'm learning more about things like that just don't register with with just trying to get fit and healthy. So I'm learning so much, and it's like I'm ready to just continue to learn and share, because even the people who my friends who always say, you know what? Here's something. What should I do about this? What should I do about that? It's like, well, I'm no professional, but here's what I recommend. And so it's always something that, I can offer to somebody to say, hey, learn more about this, or, read this book, or read that, read this, and this is going to help you. So that's really, that is just amazing to me, to just share knowledge and just encourage people to just do better,
Yes.
So I like it.
That's all you can do. Yeah.
I love it. Matter of fact, I love it. So I'm at a point now where it's like,
I love that you compared your pictures of yourself, because that's one thing I think people forget, is that it is all about your journey and about you.
Mm-hmm.
So when you can look at, like you said, the other pictures and then look at, the more recent ones, I was like, wait a minute, is that me? Like, hey.
Yeah, exactly. Even when I look at pictures from the shows, it's like, okay, I need to do this to make sure that, I'm a little more conditioned, or, whatever the case might be. So it's always amazing to just go through and look at certain things. And there was one day when I asked my husband to just take a picture of me, because I was trying to figure out which way should I stand, like which pose is better for me, right? And when he took the picture, I was so amazed. I was like, oh my God, is that me? Those are my legs.
Yes.
I'm really working. But there's always more work to do, and I'm here for it. So I'm ready. Yeah. It's gonna be a new year, a new me, and it's like, yay!
That is amazing. Yeah. I love it. I thank you so much for taking this time. We're gonna do up a video for you, and we'll shoot it over to you. And I'm gonna stop recording. This has been, okay, please say your name, because I'm gonna butcher it again because my head is cloggy.
Rachel Inabinett.
Rachel Inabinett with Bodylynx, sharing her journey with us, folks. All right, let's